I was originally thinking about doing this video as Yoda, but I figured it was best to do this off the hip because it's pretty heavy news in my opinion. But yeah, you read the title of this video correctly. Reylos are now working with Lucasfilm employees to try to deplatform Star Wars YouTubers that speak negatively about the Star Wars franchise. In case any of you watching are new and/or are casual viewers of Star Wars, you might not know what a Reylo is, so let me explain. Reylos are usually older women, but can also be teen girls. But they both have an extremely unhealthy obsession with the characters of Rey and Kylo Ren, and thinks they should be in a romantic relationship. The majority of Reylos have only watched the most recent Star Wars sequel trilogy and tend to have limited knowledge of the franchise beyond that. They're often unable to have any kind of normal romantic relationship and instead have a dozen pet cats to make up for it. Their time is usually spent on Twitter, endlessly gushing about Rey and Kylo and getting into verbal arguments with anybody who thinks that they're unhinged, which tends to be most of the general population. So, with that out of the way, let's hop right in. I was on Twitter the other day when it was brought to my attention that some account that I've never heard of was tagging Team YouTube to try to report the YouTube channel of Ethan Van Sciver, aka Comics Artist Pro Secrets. If you don't know who he is, he's a comic book artist and a great big Star Wars fan. I noticed immediately the account barely had any followers and was somewhat recently created. But they instantly got the attention of Team YouTube, which was a little interesting to say the least. Rewriting Ripley, which is the name of the account, was trying to report Ethan Van Sciver for an out-of-context satirical comment that was obviously not meant to be taken seriously, but the surprising thing was Team YouTube not only quickly responded, but took down the video even faster with just barely any time to review it. Then, Rewriting Ripley reported another video of Ethan Van Sciver's, where he unboxed an action figure of the Asian Star Wars character Rose Tico and cut the figure up with some scissors. They tried to claim this video was promoting hostility in regards to recent events. I've already made my opinion known about Rose Tico. I think she's a horrible character, but Kelly Marie Tran is an absolute princess. Team YouTube, again, was very quick with the response and review on it, and took it down immediately despite the video being up for years. By the way, I just want to point out that YouTube is owned by Google, and this is how they normally treat real Asians who aren't action figures. Anyway, I digress. I was legit confused at what the hell was going on here. Normally, big YouTubers with millions of followers can't get Team YouTube's attention for the life of them without having to flip the internet upside down and put them on blast. But here was Team YouTube on literal standby for this tiny Twitter account under 1,000 followers, like they were writing their checks or something. I knew something fishier than your mama's drawers was going on here. A number of people on Twitter watching this unfold started to theorize that the Rewriting Ripley account was an op of some kind. Someone or some people funded by Lucasfilm/Disney to try to get YouTube channels critical of Star Wars deplatformed. In the past, I used to be naive and think that big multi-billion-dollar corporations with big multi-billion-dollar franchises had better things to do than waste their time trying to get people trash-talking their franchises banned off of major internet sites. Surely they had better priorities at hand to be concerned with. Well, I was an idiot. So, let me introduce you guys to Data Racer. Data Racer is a Twitter account that's been investigating, compiling, and researching a lot of the crazy stuff happening with the Star Wars community lately. And this was a doozy. The Rewriting Ripley account is a podcast that's run by Reylo. Now, I'm not going to say the real name of the person who runs it, but she claims those who dislike The Last Jedi are, quote, violent, have damaged her mental health, and fears for her life because of Star Wars fans criticizing The Last Jedi. I'm pretty sure what actually damaged your mental health, sweetheart, is substituting a fictional relationship for a real one. Please, step outside your door, touch the grass, and practice normal conversations with people that don't involve Star Wars. So, let's get back on topic. Data Racer writes that last year, Lucasfilm's social media manager put out a call on Twitter for data analysts to help her, quote, make the fandom better. The person who runs the Rewriting Ripley podcast was then introduced to the social media manager at Lucasfilm over Twitter and made a connection with them, and a few other checkmark accounts on Twitter. This was followed by Lucasfilm executive Pablo Hidalgo following the Rewriting Ripley account quickly after she began reporting YouTube accounts critical of Star Wars. All this combined with the fact that Team YouTube has been taking orders from the Rewriting Ripley account has me convinced that they know the account is a proxy for Lucasfilm. Now, what I don't even understand is why Lucasfilm would think this is a good idea to do. Reylos are absolutely crazy. They tried to creep up on Adam Driver and Daisy Ridley on separate occasions in real life. Let me repeat that. They tried to creep up on your own actors, Disney and Lucasfilm, not trash talk them online. They also have a history of making derogatory comments directly towards John Boyega on Twitter because they really hated how he kept bringing up he was supposed to be the main character originally for the sequel trilogy. And he's right, but the Reylos didn't want to hear that. All I can think of is the people at Lucasfilm like Pablo who are propping this broad up must be super confident that this won't backfire somehow. I mean, it takes some audacity for a Lucasfilm executive to follow the account after it starts flagging down popular Star Wars YouTube channels. And if this does actually backfire and nothing happens to Pablo, he's gotta have some primo blackmail material of some kind on the higher-ups at Lucasfilm or Disney or something, I don't know. I'm not really sure ultimately where the deplatforming of Star Wars channels is supposed to lead to. All of the sequel trilogy actors, including Daisy and Adam, have already said they don't want to return, and I can't blame them. Maybe Lucasfilm thinks the next trilogy will perform better if there isn't people using it for joke material on YouTube, but I'd say the damage is already done for Lucasfilm and Star Wars in general. The fandom is divided really bad right now, and Reylos along with Lucasfilm are about to cause irreversible harm to it. As a result, I think you're going to start to see a lot more kiss-asses trying to do this to warm up to companies like Lucasfilm, promising to be their little foot soldier, sit through hours of live streams and videos waiting to report someone for trashing the franchise, and in exchange they get invited to some movies, get some preferential treatment, meet a few of the actors, maybe even get a job at Lucasfilm. Although it's just, I can't imagine the type of work environment that's going to create when you're basically soft employing these mentally ill loners to police others on your behalf. What are you going to do when they eventually turn on you, when you piss them off? You know there's a reason why most people didn't mess with the weird kid back in high school, and it was because we didn't want to become part of a true crime documentary. That's all I got for now. I'm just disappointed at how fast we're rolling towards a cyberpunk future, except without the cool music and cybernetic stuff. But we'll have corporations doing whatever they like. I'm Pitmaster Broda. Peace out.
Thank you.